The film opens with a horrifying scene. A man is tied down, his entire face covered in plaster, with 2 pipes forced into his nose. On the other side, a mysterious figure, whose face is never shown, calmly mixes chemicals and pours them through a funnel into the man's nose, as he writhes in unbearable pain. As the camera pulls back, we see the man strapped to a strange device, completely helpless. Moments later, the killer realizes the man is dead. Without hesitation, he picks up a heavy hammer and begins smashing the plaster, crushing it along with the man's face in a brutal and disturbing act. The scene suddenly shifts to Jennifer, a famous supermodel living the peak of her success. She is everywhere, on posters, advertisements, and screens, with millions of fans admiring her. It seems like the perfect life, but she has no idea that something dark is already closing in on her. Unbeknownst to Jennifer, someone is constantly watching her. Whether she is at home, attending parties, or giving interviews, a hidden figure is observing every moment. He listens to her, studies her, and plans something sinister, though his identity remains hidden. One night, while Jennifer is enjoying herself at a club, a man secretly spikes her drink. As soon as she consumes it, she begins to panic and rushes outside, feeling something is wrong. Seizing the moment, the man knocks her unconscious and abducts her. When Jennifer wakes up, she finds herself lying on a bed. At first glance, the view from the window looks peaceful and beautiful, but she soon realizes it is fake. Turning around, the truth hits her. She is locked inside a cell with no way out. Terrified, she screams and bangs on the doors, hoping someone will hear her, but the room is completely soundproof. As she looks around, she notices something even more disturbing. The entire room is filled with her posters, her belongings, and even the exact products she uses daily. This realization pushes her into anger and panic. She begins throwing things around, desperately trying to escape. Suddenly, a drawer opens, and inside she finds the same juice she drinks every morning. Overwhelmed, she throws it against the wall and screams, losing control completely. Watching her behavior, the killer releases a sleeping gas into the room, causing her to faint instantly. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself tied to the same horrifying setup seen at the beginning, with her hands, legs, and even her head restrained. The killer then begins playing videos of his previous victims. Each clip is more disturbing than the last, people being tortured, faces crushed, acid forced down throats, and teeth brutally pulled out. The final video is the most terrifying of all. It shows a beautiful woman being killed under an acidic shower, her beauty destroyed in the most horrific way. As Jennifer watches, she is paralyzed with fear. Suddenly, she hears the sound of water running and looks up to see the same shower above her. Realizing she is about to suffer the same fate, she screams and begs for her life. But the killer turns on the shower anyway. Overwhelmed with terror, Jennifer faints before anything can happen. When she wakes up again, she is back in her locker room. Her mouth is tightly wrapped in bandages, stained with blood. She rushes to the mirror, terrified to see her reflection, expecting the worst. But when she removes the bandages, she finds only a small mark on her face. At first, it appears to be an acid burn, but she soon realizes it is fake. The killer has not physically harmed her. He is playing with her mind. Just then, a figure suddenly appears behind her, terrifying her even more. It becomes clear that the killer's true intention is not just to kill, but to mentally break her completely. Jennifer leaves the bathroom, shaken and confused. As she steps out, another drawer opens. Inside, she finds a new magazine featuring herself and a key to another locker. When she opens it, she sees a beautiful dress waiting for her. She quickly understands that the killer wants her to wear it. Refusing to obey, Jennifer lashes out, screaming and rejecting his control. In response, the killer punishes her by playing a disturbing sound that she cannot tolerate. At the same time, he turns the lights unbearably bright, making it impossible for her to even open her eyes. Unable to endure the torture, Jennifer finally gives in and changes her clothes. As soon as she does, the sound stops and the lights return to normal. Realizing this pattern, she starts to understand how the killer is controlling her environment. Taking advantage of the moment, she walks up to the camera and tears the dress apart in defiance. Instantly, the torture resumes. The sound blasts again, and the lights become blinding, pushing her to the edge of her sanity. Desperate for relief, she hides under the bed, where she discovers a filer. For a moment, she considers ending her own life to escape the torment, but just before she can do it, everything suddenly stops. The sound disappears, and the lights turn off. In that moment, Jennifer realizes something important. The killer does not want her to die like this. That means she still has a chance to fight back. Using the filer, she begins trying to open an air vent above her, hoping to escape. As she crawls inside, she finds a broken nail, a sign that someone else had tried to escape before but failed. Even knowing the risk, she continues moving forward through the vent. But just as she tries to go further, the vent suddenly collapses. Before she can react, the killer catches her once again, dragging her back into his nightmare. The killer ties Jennifer back to the same chair he uses to torture all his victims. When she regains consciousness, she completely breaks down, crying and begging for her life. In desperation, she offers him money, promising to give him anything he wants if he just lets her go. But the killer shows no interest. If money was what he wanted, he would have asked long ago. Ignoring her pleas, he walks to his fridge, and what's inside is horrifying. The entire fridge is filled with human body parts, neatly stored like food. He takes out a nose, an ear, and even an eye, and grinds them together with water, creating a disturbing liquid. Then, without hesitation, he forces a funnel into Jennifer's mouth and makes her drink it. She screams and struggles, unable to swallow the horrific mixture. The pain and shock overwhelm her, and she faints again, the liquid dripping from the side of her mouth. The killer calmly cleans it with a cotton swab, and then licks it himself. In that moment, the truth becomes clear. He is not just a killer, but a cannibal. Afterward, he carries Jennifer back to her room and leaves her there. As she lies unconscious, we see a massive poster of her in front of the bed. But it is not just a poster, it is a two-way mirror, allowing the killer to watch her every move. While she sleeps, he spends his time watching her old interviews, studying her personality, her fears, and everything about her. Hours later, Jennifer slowly wakes up and notices a faint light coming from the wall. As she looks closer, she sees words written on it. "Who are you?" Confused, she rushes to the mirror and discovers something shocking. On the other side, there is a man trapped just like her, inside another glass cell. They begin communicating, and Jennifer learns his name is Gary. Realizing they are not alone gives her a small sense of relief, but the killer is watching them. The moment he notices their interaction, he turns off the lights, separating them again. He deliberately plunges Jennifer into darkness because he knows her deepest fears, something she had once revealed in an interview. But Gary finds a way to help. Using a matchstick, he creates a small light, calming her down and allowing them to continue talking. With Gary's presence, Jennifer feels less alone, and her fear begins to fade. Meanwhile, the killer grows frustrated. He is not just experimenting on humans, but also torturing animals, showing how deeply disturbed he truly is. Seeing that Jennifer is no longer breaking easily, he knocks Gary unconscious and shifts his focus back to her. Suddenly, another drawer opens in Jennifer's room, revealing a glass filled with sand and a strange card showing a woman buried alive. Before she can react, the killer appears from behind, covers her mouth, and drags her away. He locks her inside a glass container, and sand begins pouring in, slowly burying her alive as she screams in terror. At the same time, the killer sends a message to Gary, giving him a choice: to risk his life and save Jennifer. Without hesitation, Gary decides to act. He climbs through the vents and reaches her location, determined to rescue her. Managing to pull her out just in time, they both escape through the vent and enter another room. But what they find there is even more horrifying. A lab filled with a dead body whose skin is completely burned, as if it had been used for acid experiments. Terrified but determined, they push forward, believing they can escape if they stay strong. Their hope leads them to a garage, where they find a car. Without wasting time, They jump inside and drive out, smashing through the shutter to break free. For a brief moment, they believe they have escaped. But it is all a trap. The car is filled with sleeping gas, and the killer releases it effortlessly, knocking them both unconscious once again. When Jennifer wakes up, she finds herself back on the experiment table. This time, the situation is even more twisted. A gun is placed against her head, another within her reach, and right in front of her stands her beloved dog. The killer gives her a horrifying choice. She has only 30 seconds. Either she kills her dog, or he will kill her. Jennifer is shattered. She doesn't want to do it, but the fear of death takes over. With trembling hands, she pulls the trigger. The dog is blown apart instantly. But something feels wrong. No real body reacts like that. In that moment, Jennifer realizes the truth. It was never her real dog. Once again, the killer has played with her mind. Overcome with shock, she tries to reach her dog, but everything fades as she loses consciousness again. When she wakes up, she finds herself back in another cell, wearing different clothes, the same place where her nightmare had begun. When Jennifer wakes up again, she notices that Gary is conscious in the other cell. Relieved to see him alive, the two begin talking once more, holding on to each other through words in this nightmare. For a brief moment, the killer opens the door between their cells, giving them hope, but just as they try to reach it, he slams it shut again. The psychological torture continues, pushing them to their limits. Soon, another drawer opens in Jennifer's room, revealing yet another dress. This time, Jennifer understands that resistance only brings more pain. Realizing the killer will go to any extent, she decides to obey him and puts on the dress. The moment she does, something unexpected happens. The killer opens the door between her and Gary's cell, and Jennifer immediately runs to him. For the first time, they are together, finding comfort in each other's presence, even in this horrifying place. But the killer's plan is far from over. A video begins playing on the screen, showing a girl tied to a table in a disturbing way, her mouth sewn shut and her body mutilated with multiple openings. The sight is unbearable, and Gary, overwhelmed with rage, starts destroying the monitors and cameras around them. This angers the killer instantly. He storms in, drags Gary away, and disappears. Moments later, Jennifer is forced to watch another video, this time showing Gary being brutally tortured. Unable to handle it, she breaks down, screaming and eventually fainting from the shock. When she regains consciousness, both of them are tied together on experimental chairs. In front of them, another video begins playing, revealing something deeply disturbing. It shows a mother abusing her own child, both physically and mentally, while recording everything. The footage grows darker as the child, unable to bear the abuse, finally snaps. In a fit of rage, he stabs his mother multiple times, killing her, and then records the aftermath. The horrifying truth is revealed. The child in the video is the killer himself. Now everything begins to make sense. The killer is not just a psychopath. He is a victim of his past, seeking revenge for the pain he endured. As he watches the video with them, his anger resurfaces, growing stronger with every memory. Consumed by rage, he approaches Jennifer and tries to pull out her teeth. She screams in pain, but Gary steps in, provoking him. He challenges the killer, asking him to come to him instead. Without hesitation, the killer brutally pulls out one of Gary's teeth, leaving him screaming in agony before he faints. Afterward, the killer places both of them back into Gary's cell. Jennifer, now deeply grateful for Gary's sacrifice, begins to care for him. She stays by his side, tending to him until he regains consciousness. In this moment of vulnerability, the two grow closer than ever before. Eventually, exhausted, Jennifer falls asleep beside him. But what happens next changes everything. Gary quietly gets up, takes out a card, scans it, and unlocks the door. He calmly walks upstairs, revealing a shocking truth. In a massive twist, Gary is not a victim. He is the real killer. He is the same child from the video, and he has been working alongside his brother all along. Together, they have been kidnapping, torturing, and killing victims in this horrifying manner. Jennifer was just their next target. But something unexpected happened. Gary began to develop feelings for her. He decided not to kill her, and this decision created tension between him and his brother. His brother, desperate to stick to their plan, insists that Jennifer must be killed immediately. If she escapes, everything will fall apart. Enraged by this, Gary snaps and stabs his brother with a knife in the kitchen, killing him, and hides his body in the bathtub. After that, Gary begins going through the files of all their past victims, creating a new file labeled with Jennifer's name. But before he can continue, there is a knock on the door. Quickly hiding everything, he steps outside to face the police. The officers question him about Jennifer's disappearance and his brother's whereabouts. Gary remains calm and lies confidently, telling them his brother is not home. After gathering some information, the police prepare to leave. But just as they are about to go, they notice a match playing on TV and decide to watch it for a moment. Gary walks into the kitchen to get water, trying to stay composed. Suddenly, a news clip interrupts the broadcast. It shows CCTV footage related to Jennifer's disappearance. The officers immediately realize the truth. Gary is the one behind it all. Before they can react, Gary returns with a gun and shoots them both dead without hesitation. At the same time, Jennifer wakes up, startled by the gunshots. Gary rushes to her and pretends to be her savior. He tells her that he has killed both killers and that they can finally escape. Trusting him, Jennifer follows Gary as he takes her upstairs, completely unaware that she is still trapped, and that the real danger is standing right beside her. When Jennifer sees the dead policemen, she assumes they were the killers and believes Gary has saved her. In panic, she grabs a phone and tries to call the police, desperate to end everything. But Gary quickly stops her, warning that they should not involve the police yet. He explains that everything they did has been recorded, and if those videos ever get out, her reputation will be destroyed. He convinces her that he needs to delete all the evidence first, and with that excuse, he heads downstairs, leaving Jennifer alone upstairs. Still unsure, Jennifer continues trying to call for help, but the phone is not working properly. At that moment, something terrifying happens. One of the policemen, who was not fully dead, slowly gets up and stands behind her. He tries to approach her, possibly to reveal the truth, but Jennifer, already terrified and unstable, reacts instantly. Without thinking, she grabs a heavy object and hits him on the head, killing him before he can say a single word. Shaken by what she has done, Jennifer stumbles into a hidden cabin nearby. As it opens, she discovers files on every single victim. As she looks through them, the horrifying truth finally becomes clear. This entire nightmare was carefully planned, and the real mastermind is Gary himself. Among the files, she even finds photos of Gary with his brother, confirming that they were working together all along. At the same time, something even more dangerous unfolds. Gary's brother, who was stabbed earlier, is not dead. Injured but alive, he slowly gets up and makes his way toward Jennifer, determined to finish what they started. As he attacks her, Jennifer fights back with everything she has. Using the same knife still lodged in his body, she stabs him again, finally killing him for good. It is a brutal moment, but it is the only way she can survive. Now alone, she desperately searches for a way out, but every path is blocked. Just then, she finds a police officer's phone and prepares to call for help. But before she can do it, Gary returns. Jennifer quickly realizes that Gary does not know she has discovered the truth. Thinking fast, she pretends to trust him and gets closer, acting as if she still believes his story. Gary begins to lower his guard, unaware of her plan. In a sudden move, Jennifer sprays pesticide directly into his face and runs away before he can react. She rushes back to the place where she was held captive, hoping to find something that can help her fight back. There, she finds a gun. Just as she picks it up, Gary arrives. She points the gun at him and pulls the trigger, but nothing happens. The gun is not loaded, and in that moment of hesitation, Gary takes control again. He snatches the gun, loads it, and aims it at Jennifer, ready to kill her. But Jennifer refuses to give up. With one final burst of courage, she lunges forward, grabs the gun from him, and turns it against him. Without hesitation, she pulls the trigger and kills Gary, ending the nightmare once and for all. With that final act, she not only saves herself, but also avenges every victim who suffered before her. After everything she has endured, Jennifer finally escapes, leaving behind the horror that almost consumed her.